Bad already, Paul.
Yeah, it's a stereotypical reporter shot where they're standing in the wind telling you it's windy, but it is incredible the whip that is coming off the sea right now. And in fact, if you look into the sky, you can actually see the top of the edge of Storm Eunice, the swirl of it, as it's starting to make landfall in the UK. In the last sort of half an hour, the wind, it was fairly windy, but it has really whipped up as it's building up more energy, spurred on by the jet stream in the atmosphere, running at 200 miles an hour, accelerating winds to 90 miles an hour. There is a red warning in place now in the southwest of England and the Bristol and Wales areas. That has now been extended from 10 a.m. across the southeast and across London. Here they are worried about the storm surge, about the tidal surge, about the pressure pushing down on the water as the waves start to come in further towards me as I'm talking to you now, and that storm surge then pushing the water, funneling it up the River Severn upstream, and that is why there are so many flood warnings in place, 10 severe flood warnings in place across the UK, many of them covering the Severn. Out there to see at the moment, that's the Bristol Channel, and then just behind me, that's the Severn Bridge. Beyond that is where the River Severn starts, and they are seriously worried about flooding along here. There is no one around at the moment. Everything that can be battened down has been battened down.
Scary situation, Paul, for people living particularly in that area.
Yeah, people here, I mean, they're used to these kind of situations. Remember the Severn Estuary, the Severn River, I should say, it's the longest river in Great Britain, 220 miles long. It's got the volume of water that flows across it, that flows through it, I should say, more than any other river by far than any other river in England and Wales. So, you know, here they are used to these kind of situations when it comes to flooding, although not these kind of storms. This is you know, certainly the biggest storms here in the UK this century, certainly the worst for, 30 years. So they're not used to these kind of storms, but they are used to flooding, and they're getting ready here, especially further downstream. They'll be getting ready because when the storm passes, of course, the storm surge will continue, the flood surge, I should say, will continue, and the water will be a real threat.
I mean, I know that people obviously are being advised to stay at home if they possibly can today, not to drive, not to go out on the roads, and the rails systems are particularly problematic. But I just wonder, I mean, watching you right now, it's obviously difficult to keep the camera upright. It's almost difficult for you to stand upright too. What does it feel like?
It is absolutely bracing, and a couple of times I've had to hold on to the rail here just next to me to stand still. I mean, I don't think the winds have reached their top speed yet, but they were 60 miles an hour, about an hour ago. They must be up to somewhere near 80 miles an hour now, and they will accelerate to 90, 100 miles an hour later. So at the moment it feels really bracing, really strong. I cannot feel my hand, I cannot feel my nose. And let's just abandon all pretense about hair mousse and hair wax and hair gel, right? This is not a day for that today.
Dominic, Paul, stay safe. We'll catch up with you a little bit later on. But what is this all going to mean? We've talked about